Alright, in here is a custom one-of-a-kind smartphone, and quite a bit more. So we're going to get this bag open, and inside we have got a ton of stuff. So first up, we're going to start with the little package, and we've got a, kind of looks like a moon, which is going to seem really random right now, but it'll make a lot of sense in a minute, and a power cable, as well as a couple of wooden pieces for a stand. Right, how do you actually, doesn't come with any instructions. Yeah? Okay, so little moon setup, and as well as the custom smartphone, which I'm going to come to, there are two more smartphones that we've got, and these are devices you may well have seen before, but I've been really wanting to get them in and test them in detail myself. First up, the Galaxy A70, labelled by many as Samsung's best mid-range smartphone. With that said, if we open the box up, right on top you got the smartphone itself. You get a fast 25-watt charger, the same as the Galaxy Note 10, you get a USB-C cable, and some kind of mid-tier earphones. So, at around $400, this is actually not one of Samsung's more expensive phones, and with that in mind, there are three things that stand out. It's got a massive 6.7-inch Super AMOLED display, an equally hefty 4,500 mAh battery, but possibly the most surprising is that it has this whilst not feeling particularly bulky. The camera is also pretty impressive for the price. It's got a very familiar Samsung feel. The other device here is the Galaxy A90 5G, more recent and a little harder to classify. It falls into unusual territory. It's priced almost twice as high at £669 or around $800, and for that, inside the box you get the same 25-watt fast charger, pretty much the same box contents overall, and the smartphone itself is kind of similar. That said, there are three things that I think make it stand out. It's not a cheap phone, but it is one of the most affordable 5G smartphones out there. And that 5G is only possible thanks to the Qualcomm Snapdragon 855 chip, which is quite a significant upgrade to the mid-range processor found in the A70. It's got the same large display and 4,500 mAh battery, but the camera has been upgraded to 48 megapixels and takes noticeably better images. Plus, we've also got a new finish, and it's kind of unusual. The glass on the back is split into 4 sections, but in a non-symmetrical way, with only the bottom half giving off this rainbow hue in the light. I actually don't hate it. Now, 2 packages to go, and in order for this smartphone to make sense, we've got to take a look at what's inside here. So, space selfie. Long story short, this year is when Samsung celebrates the 10th anniversary of its Galaxy S series, and that coincides with the 50th anniversary of the moon landing. And so this entire unboxing experience is kind of a celebration of that. And the idea is that Samsung has sent a Galaxy S10 5G into space, and they want people to submit selfies of themselves so that they can put it on the screen of the Samsung and get another camera to take a photo, with the stars in real time as the backdrop. And this is clearly an important campaign for them, otherwise they wouldn't have done all this. This says, welcome to mission #SpaceSelfie, humanity's ultimate act of selfie expression. Our only question for you is, how will you take yours? And they literally have a display, even with a hole punch up there to show that it looks like the Galaxy S10 5G, just to read the message. That's kind of cool, I've never seen that before. There's also this, I don't actually know what this is. So this is just like an invitation. It's just telling me when it's happening, where it's happening, and that I could RSVP if I wanted to attend it. And now for the device itself. This is kind of exciting because I'm strongly considering switching to this phone. You'll see why in a minute. Whoa, okay, so custom packaging this time. It says Space Selfie on the front, and it's just got the Samsung logo below that. And if we take off the sleeve, this is a standard Galaxy S10 5G box, but as far as I'm told, it is something special. If it's not, I apologize in advance. Whoa, okay, so right on top is the phone, and I haven't seen this before, but I'll come to that in a second. We've got the standard 25-watt fast charger. We've got a USB-A to USB-C adapter, which lets you transfer stuff from your old phone, the USB-C cable for data transfer, as well as something I really like that's packaged with these phones, AKG earphones. Alrighty, so the smartphone itself, and take off the sleeve, you will see that we've got a custom engraved Space Selfie S10 5G, and it actually says Mr. Who's the Boss on it. It's in the crown silver color, which I haven't actually seen before, and it's actually kind of matte, which I like. The S10 5G I've been using is glossy, a little bit more prone to fingerprints, and just generally isn't as grippy. Right, so two things. Firstly, I'm going to actually send off a Space Selfie just to see what happens, and secondly, this is actually a really good opportunity to tell you why no phone in the last 6 months has actually made me switch away from the S10 5G. So I went to the site that they've set up for this campaign, I filled in my details and thought, okay, we're doing a Samsung thing, we might as well use a photo taken on a Samsung phone. And done. They've said I'll get the final result on the 31st of October, and so if it's any good, I'll put it on Instagram. I don't really know what to expect, but if you're curious, then do follow along and I'll keep you updated. Now, this phone, I've been using an S10 5G as my main phone for over 6 months now, and I realize 6 months is not a long time to have used a phone, but for me, because this is my job, and because I get to test so many phones, it's actually rare that in this much time I didn't find a single phone that I would rather use. It boils down to this. The S10 5G has very little missing. In fact, I'd go as far to say it's still one of the most complete devices out there. I was ready to switch to the OnePlus 7T Pro, but when it came out, it turns out it was super similar to the 7 Pro, and battery life was a bit of a worry. It's a similar story for the Pixel 4, but if you see my hands-on video or camera comparison, then you might know I wasn't hugely impressed by that thing, and having an ultra-wide camera has kind of become a deal breaker for me. The Galaxy Note 10 Plus was the obvious replacement phone, and I was expecting to jump ship when that thing came out, but for a number of reasons, I've made a separate video about this. After using the Note, I changed my mind. And actually, the closest I came this year was to the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I think the camera and the battery on that phone were a surprise to a lot of people. It's super reliable, and to me, that's the most important thing. My only real reservation was iOS. I love the software, but I'm the kind of person who wants to sit there and tweak and modify and customize my phone, and iOS is just not the best place for that. So this wasn't sponsored, but it was only possible thanks to Samsung for their Space Selfie campaign, Qualcomm for the A90 5G, and Carphone Warehouse for the A70. So massive thanks, and if you enjoyed this video, I'm going to leave a link for the Pixel camera comparison, as well as a bunch of other smartphone news, which I think you'll find interesting. So thanks a lot for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.